Hey everybody, this is Rich Artichoker with blackwolfmartialarts.com. We're going to do our next video in the series, which is going to be a two-person video. We've got a helper here today, and Ozzy Randall's here, and he's going to help us work on some footwork and distance control drills. First of all, we're going to talk a little bit about our footwork again, just kind of a quick review about footwork, and then we're going to work on a mirror drill and a fighting measure drill in order to understand how best to control distance in that kickboxing range. So the first thing is just a quick review of our footwork. We use a step and slide, or a slide and step shuffle, and I'm going to have Ozzy do a quick demonstration of that because I just showed it to him. I'm going to take a picture of the foot, and basically when we step, we're going to lead with that. We're going to step with that lead foot and then drag the rear foot up. Yep, just like that. And then go ahead and when we retreat, we start with the rear foot and drag the lead foot. When we step to the left, you're going to step with the left foot first and then drag the right foot. Good. And then when you go to the right, step to the right and drag the right foot. Very good. All right, cool. There's one thing that Ozzy and I didn't go over yet, and that is circling. When you circle, you're going to use your lead foot as your pivot. You're simply going to turn that lead foot and then drag that other foot around. So that lead foot's going to be your pivot. So if I was circling, if I was trying to circle Ozzy here, I would simply step out, pivot, and turn, like so. Now, the limiting factor here is if I need to turn that way, I'm going to have to change my stance, but we'll go over that later. First thing, if we're going to circle Ozzy, I'm going to try to circle out to the right. As he comes in, I'm going to step out and turn. Step out and turn. That's our circling footwork. It's pretty basic. The key element here is you just want to pivot your lead foot and then swing the other leg around. Try not to take a big step. You don't want to take a big step with your foot and then pick this leg way up off the ground. That'll take too much time, too much energy. It's not going to be efficient. All right, so with that in mind, now, so the first thing is the fighting measure. The fighting measure is our first reference point. It's a reference point which tells us where we're at, and it gives us, it's also our kickboxing range. So when we're in our fighting measure, we're at a distance from our opponent where we can see all of their tools. We can just kind of take this peripheral vision of the person, and we can see their arms, their legs, and we know we're at a distance where they can't just reach out and strike us. So if I were to set up, Ozzy and I were going to spar, we would want to set up something like this. So that way I just can't reach out, throw my jab, my cross, my kick. I just can't reach out and touch him, and same thing for him. If he throws his jab, if he throws his other punch, good. If he throws a kick out, he can't just reach out, and actually he's got a little bit longer in legs than me, so I'm going to want to come back a little bit. So for me, my fighting measure would be out here a ways because he's got longer legs. All right, so the goal here, the idea here is to control this distance. We want to basically, when you're sparring, when you're fighting, you want to manage this distance with your footwork, and you want to make it so that your opponent has to work hard. He has to come at you in order to hit you. If a person wants to try to attack you, they're going to have to advance. When they advance, that's when you have your opportunity to counterattack. It's when you have your opportunity to flank them, or whatever you need to do. So the first drill in our system is a real simple drill. It looks like a waltz, it's kind of like that. You focus on your rhythm. You try to match your opponent's movements, and when they move forward, you move backwards. When they move backwards, you move forwards, side to side. You just follow what they do. One person takes the lead, the other person just follows. So, for example, if I take the lead, if I'm the lead person, you just mirror whatever I do, Ozzy. So if I come forward, you're going to step back. Good. And if I come backwards, you're going to step forward. If I go this direction, you're going to follow. If I go this direction, you're going to follow. Very good. Okay. Good. Come back. Good. And then at some point along the way, you stop and you check your fighting measure again. You make sure that everyth's good, so that way you don't end up getting hit. But that's the basic idea with that. You want to take that, work it, start off slow, because I want you to get a feel for that distance, what it feels like when you're in it, when you're moving out of it. Work that for a while. Okay, so the next one, the next phase of the drill. The next phase of the drill is going to be when that person comes in, because the whole point of this is to hit. If you're sparring, if you're in a boxing match, if you're in an MMA match, the whole point is to hit. So if we're going to be talking about using our footwork to create opportunities to counter, what we want to do is we want to be able to key on that movement, the opponent's movement. So the next phase of the drill, we're going to be having the next phase of the drill, when your opponent moves towards you, you're going to move forward and you're going to counterattack. So if Ozzy were my opponent, if he were coming in, I'm going to come in, boom. That's the idea. Or to keep it a little more true to the Jeet Kune Do philosophy, what would happen is when Ozzy were to come in, I would attack his closest target with my longest weapon, which might be, in that case, a side kick to the thigh. It might be, for example, go ahead, a teep. And if we include the elements of the Filipino arts, I might want to attack his arm. Boom. I might come back, try to hit a nerve on the wrist. I might try to hit a nerve on the upper arm, something like that. So it depends on what you're trying to do, and it also depends on if you're in a competitive match. You need to know what the rules are, that kind of thing. All right, so we're just going to do for like a minute. I'm just going to have Ozzy. Ozzy's going to move around. When he moves in to attack me, I'm going to position myself with footwork in order to counterattack. Okay? We're going to do that for about a minute. Okay? Yeah. Well, actually, I'm going to mirror you. Okay. All right, so we're gonna let Ozzy play with that a little bit. So this is first time doing this. So I'm gonna be the aggressor. When I move in, he's gonna use his tools, whatever they are, the jab, cross, whatever they are, position himself with his footwork so he's at the right distance, and try to get that counterattack. So I'm gonna move. Good. 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 All right, that's the idea there. Go ahead and play with that. Grab a person, grab somebody else to do it with, your brother, your sister, cousin, training partner, whoever, and just work on that. Work on maintaining that distance, control that distance. Don't let your opponent get ahead of you, and drill it. Drill it, drill it, drill it till it hurts.